Hi, and welcome to Write with Alex. Today, I invite you to join me practice writing dialogue tags. And you might be wondering what that is and why it matters. And learning about this will both improve the dialogue itself and also make the process more fun and enjoyable to write. So, this is a topic I'm really excited about, so let's get started right away. And today we are going to look at a particular part of the dialogue and the dialogue tags to see how that part impacts the whole dialogue. And a dialogue tag is how some a dialogue tag is who says what and how it is said. And an example of this is the sentence, "I want to eat cake," Iris said. And the words Iris said is the dialogue tag. And you can also use other words than said, like demanded or whined. And there are more variations as well to where to place a dialogue tag and how many words you can include or like how it can look. And I have made a video called How to Write Dialogue Tags. And in that video, I will go into more depth about this. And I highly recommend watching this video. I think it will really help you. And if you have the time, I recommend going there first and watching that, and then coming back here and doing the writing exercises, because we will practice the things that you learn in that video. But this video, of course, also works on its own. So yeah, grab your writing gear and let's get started. And if you, as usual, if you don't feel like practicing dialogue tags today and you just want some company for writing, then please write on your own project. As long as you are here and writing, then I am happy. And if we do an exercise and you feel like it's not working for you, then just go ahead and do your own thing. Like, this time is for you to write and hopefully also practice some dialogue tags. So for my writings, I always do two warm-up exercises. And the first one is something that I call a check-in, and that is to just write for 2 minutes about how you're feeling right now. Because that is a great way to start, and you always know something about that, and then when you have started writing words, it's easier to just keep going. So I'm going to put a timer on my computer, and we're going to do this for 2 minutes together. And and you start with the words, "Today I am," and that just can continue talking about how you're feeling. And 2 minutes, and the time starts now. That was our time. Sorry, I scroll down from my notes. All right. So the next part of the warm up is to do flow writing, and that means just start writing and just keep going and don't think too much about what you are writing, and kind of writing like the flow of your thoughts. And don't worry about spelling, don't go back and edit anything, just keep going. And we're going to do this for 3 minutes, and you will get, for this one as well, a sentence to start with. And that sentence is, it's hot outside. He said, whispered, you choose the word. So the thing you start with is, it's hot outside, he. And we're going to do this for 3 minutes. So I'm going to set a timer for that. And the time starts now. That was our time. So now it's time to start the proper exercises, and we're going to do 3 different exercises that will help isolate different parts of the dialogue to see how those parts impact the whole of the dialogue. And when you write, you are probably and hopefully using these dialogue tags subconsciously, but now we will look at how we can use them consciously, and if we just look at how we use them in the dialogue. And for the first exercise, you write a dialogue with only the lines that are spoken. So this will be like a theater or a movie manuscript, and just do a new line for the new line of dialogue. And you can choose whatever you want to write on yourself if you have an idea. And if you don't have an idea, I will give you a prompt and you can let that inspire you to write something about that. And the prompt is ice cream and fork. And we're going to do this exercise for 5 minutes, and the prompt is, or the exercise is to write a dialogue with only the lines that are spoken. So, the time starts now. yeah, so that was our time. And now, before we move on to the next exercise, I want you to take a moment and look at the text you wrote and see what happened and how does it differ from a dialogue that does have dialogue tags. And were there words that you wanted to write but you weren't allowed? What kind of words were they and why did you want to include them? And looking at this is a great way to see why why we structure the dialogue the way we do, and to look at how you write it yourself. And the next exercise will also help looking at these things. And for the next exercise, I want you to do a new dialogue. And for this one, you have to end every line of dialogue with they said, or whatever pronoun of the characters you are using. And this is going to feel really repetitive, but that is the point, because when you force yourself to do things a certain way in a very strict format, that is often when you see why maybe you don't want to do that in a book, and also what happens in the text. And if you want, you can continue the scene that you started already and just do the next thing that is happening in the scene, or you can start a complete new scene with different characters and everything. And for those of you who want to do a new scene, I have a prompt for you, and that is 2 friends are playing a board game. So the exercise is write a dialogue where you end every line with the words they said. And you don't have to, if you have more than one sentence of a dialogue, you can write 2 sentences for the same person and then write they said. But you know that is just a structure. And we're gonna do this for 5 minutes, and the prompt is 2 friends are playing a board game. So let's start now. that was our time. So I'm guessing you feel a bit stuck or boxed in with this exercise and longing to write something else. And that is really good because that means that you have a feeling for how to format dialogue that is not like this. And of course, even with this, you notice that sometimes said is not correct. You should write maybe asked or answered. And that is also what you are allowed and are supposed to do in this last exercise. So I will give you free hands and you are allowed to write the dialogue however you want. And I encourage you to try and place the dialogue tags in different places. And I will tell you shortly about how to do that here, but for a more in-depth view about this, go and watch my other video about how to write a dialogue. And yeah, I just talk more about it there. So there are three main ways of where to place a dialogue tag. And the first one is to have the dialogue first and then the tag. Like we did now, you have the line what someone says and then you end it with they said or something of that sort. The second option is to put the tag in the middle. So you have dialogue, tag, and then a dialogue again. And oh yes, I'm gonna use a text example as well, sorry. So for number one, with the dialogue and the tag, an example of this is the sentence, I want to eat cake, Iris said. And yeah. And for the second, an example of putting the tag in the middle is, I want to eat cake, Iris said. It looks so good. And you can also put a whole sentence in between, and it doesn't have to include dialogue tag, but it usually does. It usually does. And the third option is to write a tag or a sentence first, and then write the dialogue. And an example of this is, Iris said, I want to eat cake. Or, that was with a dialogue tag, Iris looked at her father. I want to eat cake. And if you're not used to varying these different formats of dialogue, then I recommend writing these three structures down on a piece of paper and look at that while you're doing the next exercise, because this is a really good thing to practice and will help you a lot with the flow of the dialogue. So the exercise is, write a dialogue where you change the place of dialogue tag, and also just write a dialogue however you want to write it. And we're going to do this for 5 minutes as usual. And for this one, I want you to go back to the first dialogue you wrote and rewrite that scene. You don't have to do it word by word, but just use the same characters and the same plot and write it with the kind of dialogue that you want to write now. And yeah, so 5 minutes and the time starts now. that was our time. And before we wrap up today, I want you to look at the dialogues that you have written, and this might be one of the most important part of today's exercise, because then you can see how these dialogues different and what purpose the dialogue tags fills in a dialogue, and look at the different text and see how did it feel writing them, what happened in the text and with the format of the dialogue and why, and what kind of words were missing from the different ones. I mean, the first two ones, and why would those words improve the dialogue if you had added them. And now that you know how to write with and without dialogue tags, I hope that you can see the purpose they have in a dialogue, and that it will help you knowing where to place them and how to write it yourself. And another good thing to practice is to just look at some of the books on your bookshelf and see how other authors are using dialogue tags. And it doesn't take a lot of time to quickly see a pattern of how they do it. And there is not that much variation. Like everyone follows basically the same structure. And another way to practice is also to just take a dialogue from a book and just copy it word for word and really look at what kind of words they use for the tags and what it does to the dialogue. And that was it for today. I hope this was as illuminating to you as it was for me when I learned this the first time, and it has really helped me since then, so I hope that it will be beneficial to you. And I have mentioned this a couple of times now, but last time I will mention that I have a video called How to Write Dialogue Tags, where I go into more deep depth about this topic. And it is something that people don't talk about that much, but I really think they should, because it's really interesting. And yeah, thank you for taking the time to practice with me today and to make space for writing in your life. And take care and happy writing.